Sup, Brojito? I'm Leon the Paperback Maniac, coming at you with a totally rad summer horror haul. Yes, it's Friday, June 21st, the first official day of the summer of 19. Though for my ass, really, it's been summer for the last couple of weeks. I know I've mentioned on here before, I'm a teacher, and so I've been on summer break since the second week of June. It's been super nice, really been enjoying it. I'm just trying to enjoy it the best I can because come August, I'll be starting a new job. Finally, we'll be making the transition from middle school to high school teaching. I'm super excited. It's what I always wanted, though I am also, a tad bit apprehensive. I mean, it'll be a completely new environment, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Maybe a little stressful there in the beginning, so I'm warning you now if my output is a little sparse come late August or September, you'll know why. But in the meantime, I'm just, relaxing, trying to do cool stuff with my time. Yesterday, I went with my friend to Crystal Cove in Newport Beach, which was amazing. I mean, the shit that you see in tide pools, if you look, is just crazy. Like yesterday, we saw like a straight up versus between a sea anemone and a little crab. This poor little crab was like literally caught between a rock and a hard place. It was like stuck like on the side of a ridge, and there was this sea anemone there, and then like a little junior sea anemone below it, maybe like its kid or something, I don't know. But the crab was like trying to scuttle like along the side, and the little sea anemone would be like grasping at it with its little wavering tentacles. And it was like just fascinating to watch. I was mesmerized watching this thing for like 7 or 8 minutes. And eventually, I shit you not, the sea anemone grasped the crab and subsumed it and ingested it. I mean, it was like some straight up Nature Channel shit. I was like, where the hell is David Attenborough? Beautiful and terrifying all at once. But yeah, it was super cool, And then I took my friend back home and showed her Weekend at Bernie's because for some reason she had never seen that before. Crazy, right? But yeah, just been trying to do cool stuff, reading, of course, watching movies, and of course, going to the bookstore. And that's why we're here today. I'm going to show you guys the things I've been picking up lately. And so, yeah, we're just going to dive right in. So there's a lot of really good stuff here. Okay, so actually, the whole reason that I went with my friend to Crystal Cove was because this guy, Tom, the proprietor of Booktown USA, one of my favorite used bookstores in around where I live, had suggested it. He said, "Oh, you got to go check out the tide pools at Crystal Cove." And so, why not start with the books that I picked up at Booktown USA, and then the rest of these are kind of just mixed up. There's like some books from stores and then some online stuff. But now the last time I went to Booktown USA, I was shocked because I found a really nice copy of the Delabis book, The Cipher by Kathy Koja. And that is a book that's quite rare, quite valuable. And I was just sitting there on the shelf, couldn't believe it. I had never seen one of those out in the wild. Well, this last time I went, I found not one, but two Ruby J books, Ruby Jean Jensen. So we'll start with those. So the first one I found is Mama. This one was published by Zebra, written by Ruby Jean Jensen, published in 1983. And here, of course, we have some good old killer doll horror. Gotta love killer doll horror. So 1980s, right? So, yeah, this one looks fun. And, well, speaking of killer doll horror, I earlier today just got out of a screening of the new Child's Play remake, which I caught. And, didn't hate it necessarily, certainly didn't love it. I think, the doll design, they could not have picked a more atrocious looking doll. I mean, it was so distracting every time it was on. I just couldn't get over how just shitty it looked. And, that kind of almost ruined it completely for me. I did like that they kind of retained a lot of the humor from the original series. Thank God they didn't try to go all serious with it and try to make it some dark, Child's Play movie. I mean, it is a fucking killer doll movie after all. But, yeah, I don't know. The doll looked like shit. I wasn't a huge fan of Mark Hamill's voice. Did have some nice gore, but overall I was a little disappointed. Probably not as bad as the Pet Sematary remake, in my opinion, but I was excited because it was put out by Orion, or the same producing team as the new It movie that came out, which I really liked, actually. I thought the recent It movie was really good. And as a teacher, and, just seeing how middle school students were so obsessed with It when it was out, and like the way that they were like all drawing like Pennywise in their folders and talking about it. And they had gone the smart route and made it rated R, so it was kind of like a forbidden fruit type thing. And just seeing that and like how it kind of just permeated the like pop culture, consciousness. I think that it is kind of pretty much the closest thing to like a Nightmare on Elm Street for this generation. And Pennywise is kind of like these kids as Freddy Krueger. So that's kind of cool. I'm glad to see that that's still happening with the kiddies. But anyway, fucking just went into a thing on Child's Play and It. But yeah, so anyway, we got Mama by Ruby Jean Jensen. And then this one I was even more happy to find. Here we have Home Sweet Home. This was also published by Zebra in 1985. And I know that I've talked shit about Zebra's 1980s skeleton covers before, but I mean, this one's got to be the best, right? I mean, this has got to be the pinnacle of the skeleton cover. Definitely getting like Psycho vibes here. And I think this is one of Ruby J's like rarer, like non-supernatural stories. But yeah, I was really happy to find a copy of this in such good condition too. Yeah. I mean, you gotta love anytime there are eyeballs. Like, look at those bloodshot eyeballs. Eyeballs in a skeleton. That's just awesome. So, all right. What I'm gonna put these over here. All right. So next up, we've got a book called Hex by Stephen Stern. And this book was published by Pocket in 1989. Not to be confused, of course, with the more recent horror novel Hex that came out a few years ago, which I thought was really good. For like a contemporary horror novel, I really liked that one. But this one, that's a great cover, right? I mean, just really, really striking, very intriguing. Kind of more simplistic, but I dig it. So... All right, next up, we've got Softly Walks the Beast by Thomas O.D. Hunter. And this book was published by Avon in 1982. A very, very cool design there. And this book sounds like a lot of fun. Gotta love that early 80s creature horror. Yeah, it looks like a blast. Okay, next up, this one was totally new to me, but sounds really cool. Here we have The Executioner by Jay Bennett. And this book was published by Avon in 1982. It gives off kind of like a slasher vibe, kind of like a revenge slasher type thing. I mean, most slashers are revenge stories in a sense. But yeah, I had never heard of this thing, but it looks really cool. Nice little slim book. Fast read, fast and fun, I'm hoping. So, all right, now we got a few Zebra books, some more Zebra goodness. So yeah, the first one I'll show you is Carnivores by Penelope Banca Kreps. In my last haul video, I showed this same author's Zebra book, Demon's Fright, and I was just absolutely blown away by that cover. It's like one of the best Zebra covers from the 90s, I think, that I've ever seen. So this is her only other horror novel. This came out in 1993. Not quite as cool, obviously, but this premise sounds pretty cool. Prehistoric creatures, wreaking havoc, dinosaurs, and, like prehistoric, like crocodiles and shit. I mean, that sounds fun. Yeah, so thought I would give this one a shot as well. Here is what I'm talking about when I say that Zebra's like early 90s covers were the best. So this is The Fagin by Pat Graverson. And this edition was put out by Zebra in 1992. Looks like it first came out in 1982. What a gorgeous piece of art there. I'm trying to get it so you can appreciate it without the glare. But I mean, just that is an amazing artwork, just so lovely. Kind of thing you would want to frame and put on your wall, right? I mean, just very, very beautiful, atmospheric. Yeah, Zebra, when they were on point, I mean, no one could compete with their covers. So yeah, this seems really intriguing. Super stoked for that one. And then, oh yes, we got some William W. Johnstone goodness here. We've got Darkly the Thunder, a grammatically suspect title, but I would expect nothing less from Mr. Johnstone. This one was put out by Zebra in 1990. I do dig that cover. I love the pink sky with those glowering eyes. Yeah, this sounds batshit crazy, as all of William W. Johnstone's novels are. I mean, his stuff always sounds super cool, like when I read the premise. The problem with him is just the execution is not there. He has these wild ideas, like it's just like if a 12-year-old did coke or something, like, but he just does not execute them well, or at least, what I've read. I reviewed Sandman on this channel, and yeah, I mean, it is batshit crazy. I will give you that, but yeah, just the execution's not quite there. I think an author who is similarly batshit crazy but has a little bit better execution is R. Patrick Gates. So R. Patrick Gates is like a better version of William W. Johnstone. If you just want that over the top, insane, gory, just very politically incorrect horror, I like R. Patrick Gates, but I'm willing to keep trying with William W. Johnstone. We'll see. I mean, he's published a lot of stuff, so maybe eventually I'll find something that I really enjoy. Okay, and then the last Zebra book, I think. This is the one that I'm most excited for. This may be the earliest Zebra horror novel that I know of. This is Dementia, and it's written by Keith Parnell, and it was published by Zebra in 1974. Yeah, I mean, this has got to be one of Zebra's earliest horror novels. This is back when Zebra had an amazing logo right there. You see that zebra? Ah, that's so cool. And I'm going to give you guys a moment to just read that tagline to yourself. Just read that. Yes. I mean, would you not want to read that after you see that tagline? I mean, I certainly do. This seems amazing. This sounds awesome. And the writing seems really strong too. I kind of, read the first couple of pages. Seems like really strong writing and just crazy, 70s Zebra horror. Yeah, I'm super excited for this one. Yeah, that seems awesome. All right. Next up, we got a couple of Satan-themed books. Ooh, it is Satanic Summer. One of these might be popping up in a review soon. First up is Satan's Mistress by Brian McNaughton. And this one was published by Carlyle in 1978. So this author published a bunch of books, all sort of they all have Satan in the title, although I don't know if Satan actually figures in any of these stories. It might have just been the marketing, but I've heard really good things about them. And all of these books also were put out in Star editions from the UK, and those covers are better than these Carlyle editions. But the Star ones are just super obscure and expensive. So I had to go with the Carlyle, but. That one's Satan's Mistress, and then this one next is Satan's Surrogate. And this one was published also by Carlyle in 1982. Read some really good reviews of this one as well, but both of those, and then he's got a few others in this series, like Satan's Love Child, Satan's Seductress, I think. Yeah, they all sound really fun, but I thought I'd start with these two. And yeah, like I said, I am doing Satanic Summer this summer, so one of these may be getting a review fairly soon. All right, next up, we've got Mystery Walk by Robert R. McCammon. And this book was published by Ballantine. This edition was published in 1984. Really, really cool cover. I'm a big fan of McCammon's pocket editions from like the mid to late 80s. This one is super cool, and I think this is the one also. This is one thing that I love about getting these like old like secondhand books is you find sometimes weird shit in them. This time in this book, I found an old student registration slip for Miss Cherie Zapp from the fall of 1985. That is super cool. Cherie looks like she was taking some biology classes, some chemistry, pre-calculus. Had a 3.0 grade point average. Good for you, Cherie. Fall of 1985, right? I wonder what Cherie's doing these days. I hope she's still around. I mean, she should be. Cherie, if you're out there, drop a line in the comments if you're seeing this. And you should be proud of yourself. Good. As a teacher, I approve of your great. Well, she did get a C in general biology. You can do better than that, Cherie. All right. So next up, we've got a novelization. Here we have Hounds of Dracula. This was written by Ken Johnson, adapted from a screenplay by Frank Ray Perilli. And I actually have not seen this film. Apparently, it's about like vampire dogs or something. That sounds charming. This was published by Signet in 1977. Pretty cool. All right, next up, here's a book that I've owned before, but when I saw this copy on the shelf, it was in much better condition. This is Disturb Not the Dream by Paula Trachtman. This book was published by Ballantine in 1982. This sounds really like a fun trash. Sounds like a trashier version of like V.C. Andrews, but. Yeah, I've been curious about this one for quite a while, so I was happy to find a pretty nice edition of it. I think this was recently reprinted, right, by one of those companies. All right, next up, we've got Flesh by Gus Wheel, and this book was published by Pocket in 1993. Love that cover, very early 90s. This looks like a lot of fun. Love the the font there of the title as well. It's cool. All right, where are we at? Okay, next we've got Programmed for Terror by B.W. Bettine. I showed a couple of B.W. Bettine books in my last video, I believe. Here's another one published from Fawcett Gold Medal. This one came out in 1985. And I love like early 80s like books or movies dealing with computers, like the potential danger of computers. Look at that tagline. The computer says Jessica must die. That's great. So this looks like a fun little thriller. All right, next up, we've got a book called Soul Eater, another one. This is adding to my collection of novels called Soul Eater. This one was written by Dana Brookins and published by Futura in 1987. All right, super pumped about this next one. This is one that recently came to my attention and seems so fun. Here we have Orgy of the Blood Parasites. Gotta love that title. This is by Jack Yeovil, which is actually the pseudonym for the film critic and author Kim Newman, who is kind of like an academic on horror. He's published a bunch of like nonfiction books. Like he wrote Nightmare Movies was one that's really famous. The guy knows his shit, and apparently he used, I guess, this pseudonym to write fun, like kind of just like crazy gory horror novels. This one sounds particularly awesome. I mean, the premise makes it sound like Night of the Creeps meets like Cronenbergian body horror. Just amazing. This book was published by I didn't write it. Looks like Pocket Books, although I don't think that's the same Pocket. This might be a different Pocket, or maybe not. It came out in 1994. Yeah, so yeah, I am very pumped. If this is anything like Night of the Creeps, I'm super pumped to check that out. All right, just a few more here. Next up, we've got Between the Devil and the Deep. Ooh, sounds like a summer book, right? This one was written by J.M. Morgan, and it was published by Pocket in 1992. It's a book that has surprisingly good reviews online. So yeah, I'm kind of stoked for this one. It sounds fun. It sounds like a good little beach read maybe, or a nice poolside reading. So, all right, our penultimate one here, we've got Mellies Walk by Crosland Brown, and this book was published by Avon in 1991. And that's a cover that you've seen so many times, right? How many times have you seen a cover of like claws, like clawing through a picture? But yeah, I'm a sucker for it. What can I say? It looks cool. And this is like I don't know if it's like a werewolf story or something, but I'm down to check it out. And then finally, going out on top here, the last one, such a charming cover. I am so stoked for this one. Here we have The Late Show by John Douglas. And this book was published by New English Library in 1994. Absolutely love the tagline. I'm a huge sucker for any sort of horror that is set in a movie theater. You know, thinking of movies like Demons or Popcorn. It's just a great setting for horror. And I mean, you can't go wrong with a cover like that, right? And this is more British horror. I'm a huge fan, and just seems like a blast, right? Really, really fun. This would be like the perfect kind of book to do during movie mayhem, although I didn't do that this year. But like, yeah, horror that deals with movies and movie theaters, that's my jam. And so this one looks like a lot of fun. So, yes, that's it, guys. That is the little Rad Horror Haul for summer. There will be more, I assure you, probably. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys saw some stuff that piqued your interest. Be on the lookout on this channel for more book reviews in the Satanic Summer review series. I should have my next one up in the next few days. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, as always, really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.